What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Nobody Sleeps in the Woods 2 breakdown and review. I recall liking the original, and while it did have some flaws, I had a lot of fun watching the real kitschy slasher flick, and I had no idea that this sequel was being made until I loaded up Netflix today. And while I did expect a sequel based on the end with the flashing police lights at one of the brothers' houses and the fact that the final girl survived, this really did defy any expectations I think I ever had for the next chapter, bucking the trend of the final girl fights back. There will be spoilers for this and the previous movie, so please do be warned. We pick up after the events of the last installment. The twins consumed by the meteorite ooze are arrested by the police after causing a rampage and killing kids from the tech detox camp, with Zosia surviving. I do apologise if I pronounce any of these names wrong. I am not kind of versed in this pronunciation. Now, she did survive and was the only one to do so. We learn in this movie how she was taken in after she explained what happened and was put in a holding cell while the two brothers were also taken in. One was also captured by the police at the cabin, which is not what I expected, as I recall many comments on my previous video for the last movie wondering if we'd get some kind of major showdown. The meteorite is still under the boy's bed, and we open with Adas. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. We get a cool dreamlike sequence of high society people dancing, and there is a girl tied up who we would later discover is Vanessa, or Vanessa. I think that's what they said on the English dub. His colleague, who he absolutely loves, but she looks down on him. He saves her and kills the dancers, who are some weird monsters, but it's all a dream. He was simply dreaming of a hero cop, which seems to be, in this universe, a movie, as he has the poster on his wall. He's a bit of a simp and a little bit of a coward, but more meek, to be honest, as he's told to get hot dogs for his boss, which seems like an odd breakfast dish at first, but I did look this up and it seems to be a popular breakfast dish in Poland, which, hey, I learned something, and I do want hot dogs now. The grocery store owner is an awful being, and when Adam stands up to him for the dog being kicked, well, he does psych himself up, and he's told to F off and shown little respect. Now it's at the station he learns what happened, seeing the people in the cell, and acts kind to Zosia after being rebuffed by his love and colleague. It all kicks off when the sergeant heads off to the cabin after explaining that special forces are on their way. I found it funny that they could have simply just waited for them and it would have all been fine, but no, it goes up very tits up from there. Now, I expected this to go all Resident Evil 2 and switch stories, but Zosia at the cabin has a twist that I didn't expect due to her plot armor in the first, and she is handcuffed in the room where the meteor actually was that changed the boys years ago. She starts to be consumed by it and becomes a monster, leading her to attack and kill the sergeant in brutal fashion. The kills and gore in this have not let up. Here we see Vanessa and Adas wait, and he wants to be the Boy Scout and call in and check on the guy, and he hits on her, which doesn't work, as well she sees him as nothing, which is quite sad. They soon discover the cabin and their boss's body, and he wants to wait for special forces, and she ridicules him and wants to go and fight and kill who she perceives as a murderer, and she would later call in the Territorial Defense Force, which I looked up and it seems to be a civilian force, a sort of militia, but it seems like they were disbanded in 2008, so people with local knowledge, let me know down below there. I'd love to hear what you think. They call them in, leading to the two guys to come and help as the camp detox leader is killed in brutal fashion, and one of the brothers who help tracks her is also hunted and left as he has to be held up at where the camp leader was killed. It's here that they decide on a plan of attack, and Vanessa belittles him as he wants to simply wait for the special forces, and I really like this mix-up that, well, the toxic masculinity is with the girl there, and I feel like this was a lot better than the last movie. even though I did like it. I think they have really expanded on the mythology of this world by adding more of the alien meteor and adding a bit more unpredictability, more so than the first movie. Now, their plan fails as they are all attacked, and just the two cops are left standing, and it turns out that his partner was all bluster and posturing as she panics, and he stands his ground against the monster Zosia. Here, the movie switches up, and yet again goes to a place I was not expecting, as she converts him to be an alien without the meteor. He is reborn, which I was like, what is going on? The CGI was a little bit ropey, but I don't think this movie had a big budget, so I'm not really going to hold it against it at all. It turns out that the monsters are sentient once they have been converted and are able to remain some of their memories, but over time become more and more bloodthirsty and feel that killing is the only way and want to eradicate humans. Now, I personally think that, well, when you are changed, your personality is kind of important as to who you were before, as Zosia was very angry and she kills the sergeant straight away, and the boys over time became kind of, they didn't really grow up. They seem kind of simple there. And, well, she explains everything as, well, it does seem like this was a way to eradicate humans, and I wonder if this was simply a weapon sent to Earth by aliens, which would be a neat twist. Now, she inducts him into everything and tells him all of the alien stuff that she knows. It's quite simple. And I did find it funny that he says that's not much motivation, which it's not, but they're very self-aware, in which we get one of the most disturbing sex scenes of all time. I picked the wrong time to eat my lunch while I was watching this. Together they plan to go and kill people, and this turns from a slasher flick into a sort of alien Bonnie and Clyde, as she pushes him to kill someone, which turns out to be the grocery store owner who mugged him off at the start. This whole time, the movie has subverted my expectations, and I really had a great time watching it. After killing, they plan to go and embark on an apocalypse and wiping out the local area, and so on and so forth, and they decide to break out other monsters, leading to a tense exchange with the girl he used to simp for. Now, his new love implores him to kill her, which he can't do, leading her to take charge and rip his face off. Just when you think they are finally off and that they're both going to have a happy ending, kind of, the special forces turn up and drive into her. It's an odd decision, but it shows that he is destined to be alone and that he needs to stay true to himself despite external pressures pre and post conversion to an alien. Afterwards, in a post-credit scene, we learn that he has been experimented on, and we should hopefully, if there is a third one, really get to see more of this world. I'm very excited. I hope there is a third one. I know that these films are very, very popular, and I do think they are great. One good thing about lockdown is pushed me towards more world cinema, and I'm loving being able to see and discover movies from different cultures, and I've learned quite a lot watching this. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like down below. Please just subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.